Hello everyone and welcome back to another DrAce video. Today we're going to be doing something different. We are going to be riding in first person perspective. Now the helmet cam and the first person perspective are a unique style and a way of playing MotoGP 24 that adds to the immersion and allows you to pretend to be a MotoGP rider. And I must confess, the camera in this game is really good. It feels quite natural. But I'm just not that quick with it, and I much prefer the third person perspective because of the way I can see things on track. I can see the other riders, I can predict when they're going to make an overtake, I can see the slipping and the sliding in the rear tyre under heavy acceleration, the bike booking and weaving under braking. There's just a lot more to see from both myself, from my perspective, and of course you guys, the viewers at home, watching the content be created. Now I do love the first person perspective, but I always notice that the views are less, or the view retention is significantly reduced when doing videos of this nature. Now for this video I'm going to be focusing probably around 10 laps with the helmet cam, the first person, whatever you want to call it, and then at the end of the video we'll compare the differences to see if we're quicker, slower, or the same speed with the third person perspective. Now bear in mind, I've done around 100 plus hours already in MotoGP 24, but 100 of those have probably been in the in the third person perspective rather than the helmet cam. So I've got to get used to this one again and see how we feel. But the outlap feel alright so far, I must confess. It certainly feels a little bit more restricted. Of course you can't see as much on the circuit. But the general feel of the bike, the turning, all feels rather natural. It feels just like it would do if I was playing third person. I think the difficulty will be finding the track limits and being on the absolute limit on every single occasion. Bang on there, exactly what I thought would happen. Just touching the green or the white lines on the circuit. Now it's not too bad from third person because you can see them quite clearly, but with the helmet cam, it's so difficult because look how much of your vision is blocked off with the visor. The whole helmet cam pretty much includes the entire right hand side of your peripheral vision, so it's difficult to see where the lines are, and I think again I might have been really close to actually abusing track limits once more. Now of course abusing track limits once is enough in time trial to completely null and void your lap time. No matter how good it is or no matter how rubbish it was, that lap time is no longer going to count. Now my biggest concern will be those invalid laps, because when you're pushing you can't see that much. It's difficult to predict where the bike's going to be, and of course you always have to be on the limit no matter what circuit it is to get a good lap time. And here in MotoGP, a track that I really like but I'm not all that good at. Oh goodness me, the bike snapped on me there going into the hairpin curve. That's a corner I always struggle at. Turn 10 is one of those corners that I'd put in my bogey list of corners. I really struggle with that right-hander here in MotoGP. I always enter it either too quickly or not quick enough. I can never find that fine balance in turn 10. I'm hoping in this video here today we can figure it out, but I must confess, the sounds of the KTM, the feeling of the bike, it's really good in this first person perspective. Now I much prefer to play third person, as I say, but I have a appreciation for this helmet cam, I really do. I also am not a fan how people claim it's the only way to play, because it isn't. If that was the only way to play, then Milestone would make it a fixed camera angle at this one. There's many camera angles for you to choose from, no matter which one you want. There's the third person perspective, there's a higher up third person perspective which gives you a bigger, wider vision and view from that third person. And of course then you have the different styles of helmet cam. You got this one, you got two others, and I think one of the ones where it's like really close to the front of the bike, which I do not like at all. But for turning wise, I kind of want to say that this feels more natural for me to turn than it does from third person. I also get the feeling that it's a little bit quicker, that my reaction times have to be that much on point to ensure that I don't run off the track. Regarding difficulty of manoeuvring the bike and accelerating, it's not really that noticeable. I feel like the bike isn't wheeling as much from this perspective. Goodness me, that hairpin again. That's a little bit too aggressive on the brakes. Rear wheel kicked off the floor. And that's invalidated the second lap in a row. Not a good start, to be quite frank. I think if we did this in a practice session, it probably wouldn't be too bad, because those points, I don't think it would invalidate the lap in a normal session. I don't even think I'd get a track limit warning for it, but here in time trial, it's instant. If you touch any part of the circuit that is not... Oh, that's going to invalidate the next one, isn't it? Oh, it did as well. Coming out of that final corner is a bugger in the helmet cam. It can be quite tough anyway, but yeah, if you touch any part of the circuit that isn't the circuit itself, its track limits and immediately invalidated the lap. Lap times are actually two relatively consistent laps there, both in a tenth of a second of each other. A 144.9 and a 145 flat. So I would probably guess, with the third person, I'm probably looking at a 142. So I'm about 3 seconds slower than it is right now. But it's early days yet, it's only our third lap. This one won't count, of course, because I scuppered it up into the final corner. But I must confess, going into the right-hander there for the 130R, and this whole sector actually, from sector 2 to 3, feels really good in the first-person perspective. Now, if you do want to know when to skip ahead, if you get bored of the first person, you can skip ahead towards the end of the video, and you'll see the third-person laps there. I only did a couple, so check them out. But for now, the actual feeling and feedback of this is really good, and I would recommend you watch this bit, because it shows you the difference of how to attack things and how to approach things when faced with a different perspective. Because ultimately, everything's the same. You're still going to be moving the controller the exact same way, all the buttons are exactly the same. It's just that mental side to it where you can't see, and you have to try and make up the difference. It's a very interesting perspective, and I must gush at that final corner again, though. It feels great in the first person perspective. Across the line, it's a 144 flat, so there you go. That is an improvement. Now bear in mind, we didn't actually abuse track limits on lap number 3. It was because we abused track limits at the end of lap 2. So regarding lap 3, that's actually not a bad effort. 144, about 2 seconds slower than my third person perspective. That's pretty solid. I can live with that, as I've yet to set actually a valid lap with the first person, and we're probably about 7 or 8 laps away removed from possibly getting any form of lap time. We're going to only do about 10 or 11 laps here, so I've got to hurry up and... Oh, the bike snapped on me again then going into the 130R underneath the bridge. The bike felt really, really unstable. Augusto Fernandez on the absolute limit here in Motegi. As I say though, guys, I do really like this circuit. It's just I'm not particularly great at it. I think a lot of us make a decision whether we like a circuit or not depending on our skill level. I don't mind this one, even though I'm not that good at it. If it's something like Sepang, I'm not good at that at all, so I probably don't... I'm beginning to say I don't like it because of that reason. At least I'm honest. No bias here. But underneath the Monster Energy sign, providing we get this last bit right, we could have our first valid lap time. A little bit embarrassed to say that, to be honest. That's 3 laps it's taken to do that. Now with... Oh, again, fighting the KTM, the gas. Turn in. Oh, beautiful, beautiful apex there. Hit the ride height device. Make sure to turn in a bit, though, just so we don't run across the curb. And across the line, it's a 44.4, so we were actually a little bit slower, but that is my first valid helmet cam lap here in Motegi here today. Not bad. It's the start of good things to come. So we start as we mean to go on. I feel like I've absolutely nailed turn 3. That is a really comfortable corner to get right. Ah, beautiful. Just gradually onto the power with the RC16. Get on the gas, as it says. Now onto the brakes. Ah, turn 5. A corner that I can never, ever get right. Turn 5, turn 10, here in Motegi are just 2 corners that completely baffle me. I never seem to get them right. I mean, I've already messed up turn 10 twice in this video already. Turn 5 is probably on 2 mistakes as well. So it's going to be a battle to see which corner I actually improve upon first between those two. Wonder how much time I could find if I didn't keep messing them up into these sectors. Oh, bike feeling a little bit unstable, but we're good. Bit wide, but we are finding time. 3/10 of a second found as we chuck on the ride height device. Bike is wheeling all the time. And now braking just at the rumble strip there on the left-hand side. Fans in attendance to watch the Red Bull gas of Augusto Fernandez riding around Motegi by his lonesome. But this is going to be enough to give us the 1:43 lap time, provided we don't. Come on, give it in. Oh, that's really difficult to try and turn the bike in, but it's across the line. We do improve. A 43.9 in the helmet cam. Good, good. And that's 2 laps in a row now where we're back-to-back valid lap times. Just took me a couple of laps just to get into things. And now we're looking quite promising. Beautiful apex again into turn 3. Keep it in tight as you can for 4. That's a little bit too tight if I do confess. And a 10th and a half. Brake early. Trying to brake quite aggressively as well. Have I got turn 5 right? Not quite. Could have moved in a little bit earlier, I think. But under the bridge, we are still finding time. As I say, it's probably around a 1:42 something for third person. So 1.5 seconds down is all not that bad, actually. I did expect a little bit of a difference. Possibly around a second. I wasn't expecting 2 seconds or 3. So again, go late on the brakes. Unfortunately, that is too wide to the V corner, and that has cost us around 3/10 of a second. And now back again on the brakes here for the right hand. I'm not going to get that stopped. I'm not going to get stopped. Ah! Well, I finished this lap, and let's get back on it then. That's a damn shame. So that was a 48.1 by the time I concluded that lap time. So I've restarted. Let's go again. And let's see if lap 7, lap 8, lap 9, and lap 10 can all be green again and stay valid. Little bit disappointed that's just happened there, because I was just talking about how I was getting the feeling and I felt really solid actually going into that V corner, and then the mistake happened, and then the next corner. Yeah, just really, really unique, I must confess. This is a great experience, I will say, that I think we're going to have to do more tests with. I remember last time, I think it was for the review, I did a couple of laps in Moto 2 with the first person perspective in Portimao, and it felt terrific. I even raced with them for a little while whilst I was making videos, and it was a joy to do. So I think after we've had this little bit of a taste, let's gauge what you guys think. If you're enjoying this sort of content, first person view, etc., let me know in the comment section down below, and we'll start looking at doing some videos with it as well. Possibly some racing included too. Also, would like to see what the Moto e-bike's like in first person. That's something I haven't actually looked at just yet. Look at the... how hard did we hit the brakes there? The rear tyre was off the floor. Looking a bit worse for wear, wasn't it? Going into the V corner, or out of the V corner, should I say, and then into the hairpin. Now back again on the brakes. Oh, a little bit wide. But I think that little bit of a crash might have woke us up here, because we're up by 6/10 of a second onto the brakes and into the right-hander. This is going to be a low 43. Not bad at all across the line. A 43.4. That's good. That's really solid. I needed that little bit of a crash there, it seems, just to give me that confidence of knowing where the limits are. Now we can fight back and hopefully improve again. And it's good to see we've now got more valid lap times than invalid on the right hand side of your screen. Brilliant. And of course, guys, oh no! Oh, just I turned in a little bit too early, didn't quite use too much acceleration there, and we've just invalid the lap time, which means we're going to be back into square one again with another wasted opportunity of improving the lap. That's disappointing, that. So I would now be on a long lap penalty worth of invalid laps, I think. Lap 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Oh wait, no! We've got one more before a long lap penalty. So we should be okay. But guys, if you are enjoying the video, don't forget to let me know in the comments section down below. And of course, subscribe as well. Got plenty more content for you coming this week. Trying to get it all done this week, actually, because I'm off to Germany this Thursday. I don't know when I've uploaded this video, so probably check it out whenever, but I'm off to Garmisch for BMW Motorrad Days. If you're a German viewer and you're going to be there, let me know in the comments section and I'll see you there with the BMW Motorrad trailer. But yeah, I'm getting a lot of content done early this week, so get on to the content the second it comes out. I'm trying to make sure that I don't miss a day of uploads. I have to be away for 4 or 5 days, so I do lose time for the editing and the content. Now, out of the final corner, that was an invalid lap time, but it's good to know we're back into the 43s again. So, promising stuff on lap 8. Hit the ride height device. I don't know whether I should use the ride height device as much as I have been doing around Motegi. It feels right to do so coming out to turn 2. I can use it here as well, but I noticed a few times I've decided not to bother, but yeah, I think actually without it feels a bit better. Maybe I shouldn't bother then going into turn 4 to 5. I'm definitely into the penultimate part of the track. Coming into sector 4 for the first time, that's when you get onto that massive straight that leads you into the 90 degrees corner. I feel that the ride height device is a necessity there, but we could try it without. I'm not entirely sure. I think I'll just keep to the ride height device now, though, to be honest. I do like pressing the ride height device. It feels like I'm supposed to do it, so I do it. If that makes sense. And now into the V corner. Get back onto the power. Trying now to brake early enough to get us into the hairpin curve. Ride height device nicely and aptly applied. We're 0.3 of a second down. 3.5 of a second now, so this is not going to be an improvement. Can we find... Oh no, I'm trying to get too aggressive there, trying to take up too much time in one corner. That usually backfires, and it almost did. Right-hander there for the victory corner. Oh, come on. Not quite good enough. This is going to put us back into the 43 lows again. 43.9. So that's roughly where we're going to be looking at then, isn't it? 43 mid for the first person perspective, 42 mid for the third person. So that's not bad, actually. We're losing around a second with a camera angle I'm not familiar with. I don't think that's all that bad. Although, we are finding time, and quite a lot of it, in this first split. 0.2 of a second we found going into split 1. Now into the second. I'm braking too late again. I'm really not getting that right into turn 5. It doesn't even feel right when I do it. It feels right on the initial braking. But as I get closer and closer to that apex and towards the bridge, I realise then that, yeah, I'm braking way too late. Beautiful change direction into the middle of the circuit here for the S-curve. We've got a great chance of still improving here. Oh, run off the circuit and massive crash! Well, goodness gracious me, that was ridiculous. I can't believe that. It didn't even feel like I was doing anything too much. I have finished that lap and I've now restarted it, so it still counts upon the screen, but seeing too many invalid laps there is painful to see, and it hurts to see. I really need to shape up when using this first person perspective. If you've tried this test yourself, let me know in the comment section down below how you got on. Are you finding that you're significantly slower, or just a tad? Are you a second slower, half a tenth? Let me know. I'm really curious to see what it is that you guys can find extra in this camera, or positively on the other side as well, where you're trying the third person perspective for the first time and you actually find yourself to be better or worse. Let me know regardless. I'm really keen to see what you guys get up to when you play MotoGP 24. So for the final lap time in the helmet cam, because I wasn't ending it on that lap there, we are looking pretty good. Even if we just get back into the 43s again, I'm going to be happy. Don't invalidate the lap time, and don't have anything too egregiously bad. And I should end this video relatively high hopes. Well, at least end this section of the video. Of course, we're going to be trying the third person perspective in just a moment's time. But out of the hairpin curve, ride height device enabled, front end of that gas bopping up and down. And then we go on the brakes. I'm braking a little bit earlier there with the helmet cam. Steady. Still a chance of improving here. Tight to the apex once more. That is incredibly tight. And then back across to the right-hand side. That's beautiful. Oh, I thought I'd nailed it. Yeah, and that's the next lap invalidated. So I tell you what, get across the line. It would have been a 43.5. Let's try the third-person perspective. So here we go then. Third-person perspective. I'm going to chuck in a couple of laps here, but I don't think it'll take many to get on par with what lap times I've been doing. But initial impressions... Wow, this feels really slow. This feels incredibly slow and somewhat sluggish. It feels really odd when I'm trying to move over and get onto the power. Feels almost like something's holding me back. I can't believe that. I didn't realise it would have such a significance when changing these two helmet cams. Or at least their perspective, should I say. This feels really odd. I do feel slower, but I'm actually finding time. Let's see if we can get turn 5 right then with the third person perspective. Onto the brakes. Yes. Yes, we've got it right. Oh my god. It felt good going into that, but I wasn't convinced until I hit the apex. Yeah, we're finding time. 0.2 of a second. But I feel really stiff. The bike feels really stiff. That's strange, which is really odd because it should feel exactly the same, but I think it's that sensation of speed that is now different. Being on the motorcycle you feel a lot more, but of course the third person you see a lot more, so small adjustments are necessary and they're easier to make. Yeah, we're finding a significant amount of time here. This is what I expected though. I did expect to be about 1.5 seconds quicker, or was it a second I said? Something like that. So this makes sense so far. Tight to the apex once more for the 90 degrees corner. Quick upshift to third. Turn into the left. Try not to abuse that corner too much. And then into the victory corner. Really calm, really patient. Hit. Don't. Oh, I thought I was going to run off the circuit again, but we're all right. Across the line. It's a 1:42.6. So we have found 0.8 of a second. So it's not that big of a gap. The gap is not that monumental. I know I have had comments in the past where they'd say try first person, you'll never make it, you'll crash, you'll have a torrid time. I actually thoroughly enjoyed that, but it is clear and it's plain to see that I am quicker with what I know best, and that is the third person perspective. I think given time, I would be quick, just as quick with the first person perspective. If you have been a long-standing DrAce fan and you used to watch my MXGP videos, then you'll know that I was exclusively first person in those games. And when I tried to remove the first person and go third person, I noticed that I was actually a lot slower. So I think it's really just what you're used to. For MX, I feel it's absolutely necessary for the first person, but for these, I find it necessary to see the bike and seeing what else is going on around you. And I think for content-wise, it makes sense. It's more enjoyable to watch it from the third person than first person. I've always said this since TT3. It's made for the player, not for the viewer. Where I think third person offers a good balance for both. But this is going really well. We're actually going to find 4 more tenths here. This is going to put us into the lower echelon of the 42s. This is feeling effortless now compared to what it did when I first started. This is going to be a solid lap. Can we get across the line for a low 42? You betcha. A 42.2. 1.2 seconds quicker than our fastest lap time set with the first person perspective. Didn't think it'd be that quick, to be honest. I didn't think I'd find that much time this quickly, this effortlessly. And we're still going. This could be another cracker. Can we find a 141? I don't believe I've ever had a 41 here. It does feel surprising to say that, but I don't think I've had a 41 here. I'd have to check some old videos. But MotoGP 23, of course, was different to MotoGP 24, so I might have done it in that one, but the laps are slower here. The bikes don't... I don't know, actually. I'm sure the lap times are slower than MotoGP 24, though. I'm pretty certain that's That's a fact. But we are finding time here, my goodness. Could I have a 141? I would be very happy with that. I don't even know where that would put me on the leaderboards. I don't really tend to look anymore, but I'll have a look at the end of the video and see what happens. But onto the right-hander then, out of the hairpin curve. We are going to find... Steady with that wheelie. Look at it just bouncing up and down. You can't stop the bikes from wheeling in this game. You really can't. Tight to the apex once more then, for the final time of asking. Oh, we're finding 4.5 tenths. It will be a 141. Just keep it together. One more corner to go. We've nailed it. Keep the bike on the track. It is. It's going to be a 41 across the line. It's a 41.785. Marvellous. So there you are then, guys. Have a look on screen right now. Compare those last 3 lap times with the rest of them to see which one was better for me. And I've got to say, the first split was already finding 5 tenths of a second. That's massive. Second split, around a tenth of a second. Third split, about 6 tenths of a second. Yeah, there's a rather big difference in my speed when it comes to these helmet cam and first person perspectives and the third person. So I think I'm going to stay with third person. But guys, test it out and see how you get on. Thanks for watching the video. I sincerely hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe. See you tomorrow for more content. Ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.